Hi, I'm Lucy Edwards, Director of Client Success at VHT Studios, and today I have an honor and a pleasure to introduce Daniel de la Vega, President of One Sotheby's International Realty. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you, Lucy, for having me. Very excited to be here with you today.
So I understand that in 2008, Daniel, you were the moving force to establish the brand for One Sotheby's, and now you are enjoying $4 billion in annual sales, and you grew your team to 1,000 agents and 22 offices.
Yep.
Amazing story. So share with us, please, how did you start, and what, I'm sure it was a lot of passion and energy invested in your enterprise.
Of course, and again, thank you for having me. A lot of passion, a lot of energy, definitely, but at the core of everything that we did was the brand and the people. So we immediately started to invest in the brand, and we immediately started to invest in the people. We invested in the brand by really embracing the brand. The Sotheby's International Realty brand, which is part of Sotheby's, RM, the auction house, etc., is the best brand in the entire world for so many reasons. But what we did immediately was we started to travel the world, and we started to really get to know the different affiliates in Europe, in Asia, in Latin America, and all throughout the domestic United States. And as we got to know these different affiliates, we really built an incredible network around the world.
Exactly.
And when we built that network, which we still have to this day, 12 years later, we just celebrated this December our 12-year anniversary, we've been able to create an incredible referral source for all of our 1,000 agents. So whether it's our general real estate side of the business or it's our development division side of the business, we're able to create these relationships for our clients and our agents alike in a manner, simply because of the brand, that nobody else really in the industry can. So that's ultimately what separated us at the beginning and still separates us as a company. And in addition to that, the people, right? The people that make this company are everything. They are the reason we're here. They are the reason we get up every morning and work hard. And it's our employees and it's our agents. And they're, incredible people. And we've always hired people that have the right ethics, the right morals. And that being part of our foundation has really allowed us to also separate ourselves from the competition. And our agents have also, now even more than ever, because we've been encouraging them so much to do so, embrace the brand like never before. And our employees really understand what it means to create the best service for our agents, because they understand that none of us would be here without our agents, right? So what we do is we take a very Ritz-Carlton, Four Seasons approach to servicing our agents, and we're constantly improving year over year. I mean, at the end of this year, we had a gentleman, a guest speaker from the Ritz-Carlton, come and speak to all of our employees, and it just opened up a world of opportunities for how we want to set forth our goals, service-oriented for our agents for 2021. So the brand and the people is definitely how 12 years later we are where we are.
Well, that is amazing, and it shows you have fantastic website it's so professional, with every agents just shine there with their listings and their history and their resume, so it's absolutely great. What about individual agents? Do you support their branding, like you help them with their website, with the professional approach?
We do. So what we've done from the beginning, Lucy, is we've always been a very agent-centric company. I think that what a lot of companies have done as of recent is they've said that they're agent-centric. And at our core, when we started this organization, my mother and I, we've always cared about the agent. And for me, agent-centric is genuinely caring about the agent. Agent-centric is not saying that here's a product for you to use, right? Here's this new technology, give it a shot, try it out. No, we want to know what's important to you, both professionally and personally. And how can we achieve those goals together as a team? It's like the larger teams that we have in this company, and even the individual agents, we tell them, you are your own CEO, right? You are.
Yeah, you are your own CEO.
And you are here to run your business. We're here to help support you run your business. And that is the agent-centric model that has been, again, at the foundation of everything that we've done since the beginning. So we support them in so many ways, right? When they input a listing, we really try to make sure that they have nothing to worry about, from signage to single listing websites to syndication throughout all the different publications that not only the MLS has, but Sotheby's International Realty as a brand has, so that they can get worldwide exposure. So all these different things that we do for them are really what also sets us apart. And we also are very, very understanding of their goals, which is very important. We're not really living in the moment. We always live in the moment, right? But we're always trying to understand what it is that they want to accomplish. What is your 3, 5, 7, 10-year plan? That's extremely important to us, and we know how important it is to the agent. So we invest in that. And we've made some significant investments, not only in our website, but everything now is moving digital, as you can imagine. So
absolutely,
we've got a whole digital team. We've got a whole digital team that now, when the agents list their property, we're doing what's called a boost campaign. And we boost their listings through different social media outlets, different online outlets, so that the agents can go to their client and say, wow, look at all these things that my company is doing for your listing in particular that nobody else is doing. Because our approach is very granular. Our approach is, again, very agent, then the agent, it's the client, and then the client, it's the service around everything that we do. So the agent's able to sit with the client and say, look at everything that my company is doing for you that nobody else is doing. And that is really at its core also what's very important to us.
No, absolutely. And speaking of assisting agents, investing in agents, again, based on your website, your marketing strategy is amazing. And being a marketing company as VHT Studios, obviously for us it's very important that every agent respects the seller, respects the fact that they were hired as a professional realtor, not someone just running around with their state-of-the-art cell phone taking photos. So it is important to look at the property, in my opinion, to think about who is going to be the buyer, how they can make it easier for the seller, what do they have to do to make this transaction smooth and pleasant for both sides, buyer, seller, and for you, agent, as a matter of fact, as well. So I noticed, and I looked through a lot of your listings, how you do have that strategy.
Totally.
So how you
totally. So I'm going to tell you a funny story. So when we started the company in 2008, it was December of 2008. So I think this took place Q1, Q2 in 2009. We had a picture taken of a property in the Murano Grand, which is one of the highest end condos south of 5th on Miami Beach. And the picture came back with the toilet seat up.
Oh.
And I remember sitting down with Mayi and saying, what is this? This is no way to expose to the world a property of this magnitude, right? So that's when we immediately implemented the property exposure strategy that I spoke about a little bit earlier, where we handle everything for the agent right when they get that listing. And it's important to the agent because the agent needs to be out selling real estate, right? The agent needs to be out networking. I always say, you're better off out at a nice restaurant, at the bar, having lunch, talking to the person to the right, your right or your left, than you are worrying about photography. Some people get too tied up in the details. We want to handle that for them so they can be out, they can be networking, they can be doing what they do best, which is selling real estate. We'll handle everything else for them. And for us, that property exposure strategy has been incredible because we know what is important in the exposure of these listings when it comes to photography, when it comes to videography, when it comes to setting those very high standards for Sotheby's, for the client, and of course, in turn for the agent. So we've been able to really seamlessly handle that process for the agent. And And some still get involved a little bit because some
Well,
properties need to be more specific to
yeah, it
client
depends on the
needs.
seller as well.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, but I agree with you, consistency is so important. So when you offer the marketing strategy for agents in your company, you have consistent quality throughout.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter where the property is located, who the agent is, and obviously they will be involved because they have the seller and they have a relationship with the seller, or sometimes they have a demanding buyer that needs something extra and then the agent has to accommodate. So I totally get it, but the consistency and the base that you offer is, I think it's very, very important.
Yeah, and it's at a very high level. I mean, we hire the best photographers, we hire the best videographers, so that's part of the property exposure strategy as well.
And then kind of like flowing into technology. So besides professional photography, and you mentioned video and 3D tools, you are also doing that as well. That is so important that when an agent and the company is investing financially in additional marketing tools like 3D tour or walkthrough video, creating that beautiful story between the drone and the video, saying goodbye with the drone. Besides the fact that you have to invest financially, you have to invest also your education. You as an agent, you need to understand how to use those products. So if you have a buyer, you can easily maneuver through the property and make it smooth again, smooth and pleasant.
Yep. Yeah, so technology is something that has definitely changed the real estate industry, and really as of recent, and not only the brokerage business, but prop tech in general, right? As you're seeing funds being raised left and right, and they're in and out of SPACs, et cetera. So it's something that is being heavily invested in, and it's something that we, in 2005, around that time, started to also invest. And one of the things that has been our biggest frustration has been the engagement and the adoption of these tools and these products, because we make the investment in them, right? And we make these investments because we think they're gonna be good for the client and the agent alike, right? So what's happened during the pandemic that has been just mind-blowing to us is that the engagement and the adoption of these tools has been incredible. It's been something that we've never experienced before, and I can't begin to tell you how many agents are using now more CRM system, open house tools, whatever it is that we've been investing. They've embraced it finally, and look, technology is the way of the future.
Right.
And how to streamline the process for the client. DocuSign, for example. I mean, we've all used these different platforms. We use app files, but having that system so that the clients can sign contracts, the whole transaction management process is something that has become seamless and is going to become even more seamless down the road because of the integration of all of these tools. And we as an organization have really invested in a single sign-on, a single user interface, and we're continuing to push that forward so that the agent has an even more seamless process when they're using all of these tools. So these tools are something that are important. And we've continued to invest in them. We want to continue to invest in the training and the adoption of these tools, because if you've invested in them and nobody's using them, then there's no point of continuing this investment, because you want to make sure when you make these investments, you're getting a great ROI. And the ROI is not about us. It's not an EBITDA number that we look at. It's an EBITDA number that the agent should look at, right? I mean, that's what's most important to them. But one more thing, Lucy. I've, since the beginning of this whole kind of tech craze in the industry, I've been a firm believer that our business is a relationship business. And I believe that our business is going to continue to be a relationship business. And technology is not going to take away from a conversation like we're having right now. We've gotten to know each other, we've looked at each other in the eyes, and we could have had this on Zoom. But you pushed me to have it in person, and thank you for doing it. But that's the reality. This kind of interaction is never going to go away. People are going to maybe get more online leads. People are going to continue to search more online. The whole transaction process, A to Z, which, by the way, it's not there right now. From the second you show a home to the second you close a home, is all integrated into one thing with inspections and this and that. I mean, it's not. And down the road, that will improve. But this is never going away.
Oh, I believe in relationships. I believe that when you build your relationship between, for example, the agent and the buyer, the agent and the seller, first of all, once that relationship exists, it goes to another level. Then the kids want to buy a house, or the aunt wants to sell the house, and on and on and on. So the referral business is based on relationship.
Well, and agents, I've been now, I think, about 18 years in the real estate industry, 12 as an owner of a brokerage, and agents ask me all the time, how do I retire? How do I not have to work as hard but work smarter? Those are the two questions that they ask me, and I say it's all relationship based. If you become a broker that is solely fixed on online leads, for example, you're dependent on something else that is out of your control. And in life, you have to try to control the controllables, and you can control your relationships. And more importantly than that, it's how well you do by people. So I believe that my company has incredible longevity, and that is because of the way we started this conversation. Our people. Our
right,
agents,
Daniel.
They have good morals, they have good ethics. So I have longevity because I have good people with good moral and good ethics. And they're gonna have longevity because they have good moral and good ethics. And if you are coming to buy a house here today, we spoke about your grandchildren. If you have a good experience with us today, when your grandchildren are ready to buy, or your kids are ready to buy, you will refer that agent, which in turn will be our agent. And if we support them well, they'll stay with us.
Absolutely.
And that goes back to the culture that we started with. So it's the circle of life, just in the real estate business.
No, you are so right, Daniel. And it is important. The relationship is important. I strongly believe in relationships. And that's why I, as much as possible, and I know that nowadays it's difficult, but I would like to meet 6 feet apart, but just to have that conversation. And if not, Zoom and Facebook Live and everything else is important, absolutely, but still continue to be connected to your clients, to your agents, and on and on and on. So it is wonderful. Your story is amazing.
Thank you.
The company is absolutely, it's state of the art. It's stellar reputation. You have absolutely great marketing strategy that I so respect, because I invest my life in marketing. So it's a pleasure to be here with you, and I so appreciate your time, and I appreciate your agents, and also thank you for the business. We are one of your vendors, and that is wonderful. And I just hope to see you soon again, that we can be all a little bit more loosened up, and more agents around us, and more open houses. But now we just have to do and obey the rules to be healthy, and to make sure we're through all of that together.
I think that things will hopefully normalize now come June, July, after the vaccine. So
I will be the first one. Well,
I had my first meeting actually yesterday, and it was with a big developer, one of the probably most important projects in downtown Miami to date. And he said to me, well, we're planning that things will be back to normal by the summer. And I think that is the intelligent thing to do. And I said, it's interesting, I agree with you, I really do. I mean, I think hopefully after the vaccine, listen, people are still gonna wear masks on planes, and people are gonna be more cautious of viruses in general. And I think it's created an awareness for all of us that is probably positive. But I believe things are going to go back to normal, and hopefully, we can just get back to getting together, because it's definitely the thing that I miss the most about this industry, the connection with people and the agents and the clients. As crazy as it may drive me at times, it's what I love most. So.
Well, and it shows.
Thank you.
And the results are there.
Thank you.
So
Thank
yes,
you.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you, Lucy.
All the best to you.
All the best to you as well. Thank you.